Alright, I'm here at home today and I thought I'd knock out a quick video. This is kind of a back to the basics type video. Anybody that drives a truck for any amount of time, that if you would pull a dry van or reefer, you'd know this already, but who knows, maybe there's somebody out there that doesn't know how to do this. So let me think here. Yeah, I picked this load up actually when I was filming that video in my last video. I think I was in Dallas and picked up a load. It's going to Indianapolis. It was supposed to weigh 20,000 pounds, and it ended up it was heavier than that. So they loaded it. It was way too. I've got a scale in here in the truck that will tell how heavy my drives are. So they were too heavy. I had them unload it. They reloaded it. Still too heavy. And I was like, "Are you sure this is 20,000 pounds?" You're like, yeah, it's 20,000 pounds. And I was like, well, whatever's in the front of this is really, really heavy then. So I didn't think it was. I thought it was heavier than that. And so I stopped in Greenville, Texas. I think it's Greenville, Texas, and scaled. And turns out our 20,000 pound load, or let's see here, I've got the paperwork. 20,400 pound load actually weighs 43,000 pounds. So I'm going to try to get some more money out of the broker for this. This is the first time I've ever been burned on weight like this. Normally, if they say it's, I've had it several times where they say it's going to be 40,000, it ends up being 5,000 pounds. So I've got away with that quite a few times. So, I mean, this has been a good broker through the years, so I'm not going to throw an absolute fit out of it. I mean, mistakes, that's why they put erasers on pencils, because people make mistakes. So, but anyway, I'm going to try to get a little more money out of them, but I'll show you my scale ticket here real quick. Let me flip you around. So there's what we started with, 11,840 on the steers. So anybody that doesn't know, you got 80,000 pounds gross, which is your total line right here. So we're good on gross weight, but on a closed tandem like that, and then your steer axle, you can go up to 12, 34, 34, 80. So you can see we're 1,600 pounds over on our drives. So this was our first weigh, and then you can go and adjust your axles and then do what they call a reweigh. So your first weigh is $14 and your second weigh is $4.50. So this is after I moved my trailer axles around and I slid my fifth wheel back. So now we're 11,340 on the steers, we're 31,140, and we are 33,9 on the trailer. So we are just under legal on the trailer, so we're good to roll. But I thought I'd show you how to move that around. I'm not actually going to show you. I'm just going to kind of tell you how to do it. And yeah, and show you how to do your fifth wheel. If I have a really, really heavy load and you're right at the mark on drives, a lot of times your steers will be overweighted, so I have to move my fifth wheel back a little bit. But that takes a really, really heavy load to do that. So let's go out here and I'll show you how to do all that stuff. So I had a comment the other day. Somebody was wanting to know, because right here is where my landing gear handle goes. So how do you crank your legs down? How do you store that? Well, I've got my fifth wheel slid back, so there's a little more gap. Normally there's 8 inches between us. This is this panel I added. So normally your skirts, I showed you that before. On a normal deal, you see right here where it's doubled, this is where your skirts would normally stop. So I added this piece to it. And I tell you what, you can really tell a difference in that. Let me get under here. So since this is kind of a heavy load, that's when I went ahead and took my dolly legs down, just so it can rest on the legs. But here's the thing. I'll do it for you real quick, just because we're down here. So normally you'd have a bolt right here. And so I just put this quick pin in here. See how it's like a farm pin. Pull that out. That's what it looks like. And then what you do, I can video this. You take this in. You kind of go between your brace, so your landing gear. Then you take your end, poke it out the hole. It's not too bad. And then it lines back up. And you put your pin in, lock it, and then you do your landing gear thing, and then you just reverse the order. I think I'll just leave like that because I might as well anyway. I won't have to climb under here in the dark in the morning. So that worked out. So we got this is my paper spec trailer, cross members. You can see how many cross members are in this thing. Every 6 inches cross member. Very, very heavy duty trailer. But anyway, that's what they call a paper spec trailer. There you can see how many cross members in this thing. This trailer weighs 1,000 pounds more than my other trailer, but I can put whatever I want in this thing and they don't have to worry about the floor falling out of it. And also down there, you can't see, but that front set of tandems, I had a wheel seal go out there, and this is actually, the spindles are heavy duty. It's a solid tube instead of a tapered spindle. Same size bearing inner and outer, so not only is the floor heavy, also the spindles are heavy duty. Oh, let's go. Ugh. All right, I might as well show you my load. There's the old truck, still for sale. Like I said, I haven't even advertised it, but there she is. Looks pretty good. Looks almost in better shape than this one. So we'll find, well, you know what? I'm not going to, because this thing's in a bind and it's real hard to get this door shut. Just take my word for it. The load is almost all the way back to the doors, because I can already see the paint line right here. It's in a bind, and since it's leaned over to the left a little bit. Let me go in here and show you. So axles are all the way to the back right here. See the big gap? This is what they call a sliding tandem. Let's see if we get any air left in this thing. So here are your pins right here. This pin, and then you've got another one, if it will focus, right there back in the back. And these pull in with this button. They're air pins. So you pull this, and there they go. Now you can adjust, you can slide your tandems forward and backward according to where they need to be. So when I was, you know what, I may not be able to see, yeah, there it is. So can you see that little scratch mark right there? So where I had it originally, I had it basically right in the center of the slide. So I was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll make a little mark there. So this is the hole I was in, and there we are way back there. So right here, when I was in this hole, I was 1,500 pounds over on my trailer. And so what you want to do to adjust your weight, the farther you slide these tandems forward, the more weight it takes off of your truck tandems or your truck drives. The farther you take this back, the more weight it puts on your truck. So since we were 1,600 pounds heavy on the trailer, we needed to go back. So every hole, here's where I marked it, right here. So every hole you go back is somewhere between 300 and 400 pounds. So we were here, if we were to go to this hole, it would take 300 pounds off the trailer and put it on the truck. So I said, let's try to go 5 holes back. So that's somewhere between 15 and 1,600 pounds. That's what we needed. So I think I went 1 mark behind what I scratched. So this is the hole we actually need to ride in. But when I got home, I just slid them all the way back just so the weight would be equalized, because I've got some like 90-degree turns to get home through here. So I'm like 3 miles off the highway. So whenever I got right off the highway, I slid the tandems all the way forward just so I get around the curves. And then when I backed in here, I slid them all the way back just so that kind of the weight would be equalized. So when I leave in the morning, I'm going to slide these tandems all the way back forward so I can get around the corners, then slide them back to, actually I need to get a paint marker. I need to go back right here in this hole. This is where we need to be legal. That's the 33-9 hole. And so I'll show you real quick on the, oh, here's my tires. I don't know if I ever mentioned this or not. These are Michelin's XZE2s. I actually got these off of Craigslist. And let me see real quick. Yeah, these are 23s. These were made in the 33rd week of 23. And I bought these for $150 a piece off of Craigslist. So these are good tires. I was out of steer tires at the time, and I needed a couple trailer tires, and so I ended up buying them. There's one little dip in them, but these are like $700. So these two tires would be $1,400 for the pair, brand new, and I got them for $300. And if you ever want to know how old a tire is, they'll either be on one side or the other. But if you look right here, this is what they call a date stamp. You'll have all these numbers. I don't know what all these mean, but when you look right here, 3323, that means these tires were made in the 33rd week of 23. So that's how you can tell a tire. So when I got there, here's my accordion dog. She's almost 10 years old. Our mountain cur, she's got some of these. She got cut on something real bad. Let's see those hoses coming out of her. They had to shave her and stitch her up. She's wearing a cone of shame right now. But anyway, if you go and buy tires with somebody and you want to know, they try to tell you how old they are, they always have this date stamp on here. So when I got there and I saw they were 23s and these are only a year old tires, I was like, yeah, definitely, I'm taking those. So there's our big gap. Usually our tandems are right here. So we're way back there. And just a little how you slide your fifth wheel around. I'll show you my fifth wheel slide. I have a very short fifth wheel slide. You can see the shiny metal, and there's the stop. Usually I have my fifth wheel all the way up because I'm trying to keep my trailer gap as tight as I can for aerodynamics. The tighter you keep your cab extender to the back of your trailer, the better. And so we're opened up a little bit there, but still not bad. So what I do is when I got a heavy load, I split the difference. You can see the stop there, you can see the stop there. I put the center pin right in the middle, and we're always good no matter how heavy the load is. But when you go to do this, the way to slide your fifth wheel, if you don't know, see that little pigtail right there, little curly Q airline? You've got a switch in the cab, and what you want to do when you do this is you want to dolly your legs down. You want to get all the weight off of the trailer. Then you want to go in your cab and hit your suspension dump, and that's what that'll do is dump the air out of the airbags, and your fifth wheel will come down. There won't be any weight on this, and then you can hit your fifth wheel slide, and it's the same deal as the trailer back there. It'll suck some, it'll bring some pins in, something that keeps it. You can see the little notches in the rail right there. There's some pieces of metal that go in that rail, and that's what keeps it from moving. And so when you hit the button, it'll bring those in, and then you can slide this backward and forward. But don't try to do it if you don't have your weight off of your trailer, even if you're empty, because usually you can do it, but it'll go all of a sudden, and it's very violent. So that's how you do that. So that's it. That was just a few tips and tricks how to, if you have a heavy load and you've got to move your fifth wheel and your tandems around, that's how you do it. So just a real good rule of thumb where you'll never have to go and weigh your truck. This one I just totally had no idea what it weighed, and I just want to know for peace of mind. But how you can tell, or if you know where to put your axles are, say you have a heavy load of water and it's loaded back to the 48-foot mark, just take, if you want to check it, just get in your trailer, walk off 5 feet, and then mark the side of your trailer, put a little mark or something on the side of it. Right at the end of your tandems where the back tires are, if you put that right underneath your load, let's say your load's here, and you put your tandems right at the very back of them, right under it, usually you will be axled out perfect. Now, if you're over 80,000, of course, there's nothing you can do about that, but I very rarely have to weigh a load. Even if they say it weighs 43, 44, 45,000 pounds, I still pretty much know where to put my axles. But this one's it's an odd case because it's so many pallets. It is lined from front to back with pallets that are about 2 feet tall. I don't know what in the world's in them, but they're heavy. And so they've got them spread so far out. That's why I've got to run my tandem so far back. And true to what I was saying, the load's all the way to the back, so I got to have my tandems all the way to the back. So that's just a little, I don't know, back to the basics video. But somebody might not know how to do that. So we're going to end this one, and thanks for watching.